Warriors fans, finally, we have Warriors news. No myth, no legends, no hypotheticals, no if and or buts. Legit Warriors news. The Warriors are bringing in Bruno Caboclo. He is a Brazilian player, dominated with the Olympics, a former NBA veteran for basically all the 2010s. He's been working out with the Warriors this week. Intentions? To sign. How would he sign? Do we have a spot open? What about Quinten Post? We're going to break it all down. In addition, Brandin Podziemski came out, and we know how many threes a game the Warriors want him to take. And he provided insight on how realistic those trades for Markkanen, Paul George, Kawhi Leonard with his name was. A lot to get to today. Randy Silver, Warriors Digest. Hope it's hit 6,000 fans. We're less than 50 away. Appreciate you helping us get to 6,000. If you want Warriors news daily, we're here for you. Guess what? Training camp is coming. We're keeping you up to date. Okay, as I mentioned, Bruno Caboclo practices with Golden State Warriors, aims to sign a contract. His agent, Daniel Hazan, confirmed that the Brazilian player will practice with Golden State Warriors until Thursday. This is being recorded Wednesday, August 28th, so Thursday, August 29th, signing a contract to return to the NBA. So first off, congrats to him to have this opportunity to practice with the Warriors. Steph's probably not there. Draymond maybe is there. But it's probably, you'd think Kuminga might be around. Brandon's probably around. Daquan Plowden may be around. Waters, Hield. A lot of the players coming in trying to get familiar with the Warriors are practicing with him right now. Gui Santos, of course, he was with Brazil. He's currently signed to the Warriors. Knows him very well and can speak Portuguese if he doesn't speak English. I think Bruno probably speaks English because he was in NBA for almost a decade. Never want to assume that, but my feeling is he does. So what got him to this opportunity to be back with the Warriors or practice with the Warriors? Look at the Olympic Games that just happened. Brazil, of course, was knocked out by the Golden State Warriors, by the USA national team in the quarterfinals. He played 22 minutes a game on average. Shot 60% from 2, 55% from 3, made 72% of his free throws. Again, not a big sample size. 6 of 11 from 3, but nice. 5 of 7 from the free throw line. 7 rebounds, and basically efficiency, 19.3, average 18 points a game. 18 points a game. Look last year in the EuroLeague with Mozart Belgrade, 19 minutes a game. Average almost 10 points a game at 9.4. Didn't get a lot of rebounds. Not a lot of steals or assists. But made 50% of his threes. 23 for 46. So it's a type of mold that the Warriors get. He is 206 centimeters. That is 6'7". He plays center at 6'7". So again, that type of Warriors player where it's not that tall 7-foot center. Someone who can play outside and get some threes. 99 kilograms is 220 pounds. So 6'7", 220 pounds. Now the question is, how did the Warriors bring him in? We know this is our roster right now. And again, you don't see Quinten Post. So we have not been able to sign Quinten Post, but we have 2 training camp spots, plus that 15. You think Post, again, maybe has to come in via letting Santos go or letting Pat Spencer go, because we don't have the ability to sign him at his rookie contract as a second-round pick, usually around $1 million. We only have $500,000 in cap space before we're hard capped. So what we can bring in for Bruno, the Brazilian, a training camp contract and see how he does. If he performs well, maybe he earns himself a full-time contract. If he doesn't, they let him go. Maybe a different team will pick him up in the NBA, or he could go back to Europe. So my intuition is if this goes well, he will sign a training camp contract, meaning he'll be in San Francisco and then start in Hawaii, where training camp will be the first week in Hawaii. And we're going to have a game against the Houston Rockets. I think it's the Rockets, if I'm correct, in Hawaii. Then we'll come back to California for the rest of training camp. So that is where my intuition is taking us, is he will be a training camp player. So Randy, what's his NBA pedigree like? Raptors for 4 years, bounced around a bit in 17-18, Kings, Grizzlies, and then the Rockets. So he, as of basically the COVID year, has been in the NBA. Hasn't averaged a lot of playing time besides for with Memphis, 23 minutes a game. And that's a decent amount in the NBA. If we look at his three-point shooting throughout, he's not been known as an NBA three-point shooter. Has barely averaged, let's say, 20%. I mean, 2 for 3 doesn't count. It's just too small of a sample size. His his 2 points percentage, 50, 60%. So he's doing well there. We know the NBA talent is higher. But I don't see anything in here that would warrant the Warriors wanting to bring him in as a roster player. He's proven in Europe, hey, I'm a good player. In FIBA, international basketball, he can do well with Brazil, but hasn't really made his mark in the NBA. Now, I mentioned earlier, who did the Warriors, I can't say that. Who did the U.S. play in the quarterfinals? They played Brazil. Who's the coach of the U.S.? Steve Kerr. Who's the point guard of the U.S.? Steph Curry. Obviously, Steph Curry is not making this roster decision, but Steve Kerr got to see Bruno live up close. Obviously, Santos has probably fed some information as well, allowing him to feel comfortable to bring him in for practice. So that is the roster update on what is happening with Bruno. How did he do against Team USA? 30 points, 13 of 20 shooting, 2 of 6 from 3, 2 of 3 from the free throw line, 6 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal, 1 block, efficiency 29. Had a pretty good game. I mean, USA blew out Brazil, but had himself a good game. Again, Steve Kerr was front and center to see that. Who Steve Kerr will also be front and center seeing the whole season and for hopefully the rest of the decade is Brandin Podziemski. He was told by Mike Dunleavy, the GM, Joe Lacob, the team governor, they had no plans to trade him. We heard murmurs. His name was around Lauri Markkanen, Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, Zach LaVine, Brandon Ingram. But no, the other rumors were he was untouchable. Kuminga was untouchable, but he was more touchable. That sounds weird. Than Podziemski. If they had to trade Brandon or Kuminga, most people thought Kuminga was the one to stay. Brandon would go. It turned out in the rumors that we were hearing, it was Brandon was the absolute untouchable and Jonathan was expendable. Podziemski said in an interview, a lot of these teams were calling about you. GM Mike Dunleavy told him after workout near draft night, they want you, but you're not going anywhere. You're ours. And that's a big thing. Again, what are we hearing? They think Brandin Podziemski, a all-rookie first team coming out of Santa Clara, proved himself last year, and they think he has opportunity to be Steph's successor. He plays the 2 next to Steph. This season, he looks to do the same. And when Steph is gone, whatever year it may be, he becomes your focal point guard. Summer League, he was the guy at point guard. He had free range to shoot, could do whatever he wanted, and he looked in control. Him and Trayce Jackson-Davis playing in Summer League, of course they should, after being with, again, Team USA Select. So he's having all these opportunities to get better. I don't see a sophomore slump. I see a sophomore bump. It's not just Steve Kerr. It's not just Mike Dunleavy Jr. Joe Lacob believes in him well. He told Brandon, you don't have anything to worry about. You're a priority here. I appreciate him saying that as I'm a rookie, going to my second year, anything could happen. They could keep me in the dark until the trade is done, but they were up front. And I love that. Again, it just shows that everything we heard, the Warriors value Podziemski. They want me to take anywhere from 8 to 10 shots per game. And shout out to Warriors Talk for this graphic. And that's big. Not just shots, threes. Threes per game. That's going to try to fill the void of Klay Thompson. If we look at his stats last season, 9 points, 5 rebounds, 4 of them defensive. He averaged 1.2 to 3.2 threes a game. 1 to 3, we'll say. It made 38%. I think he'll be closer to 40 to 44% this season. If we look at who is this player? This is Klay Thompson. Klay Thompson shot 38%, and he shot basically 3.5, well, let's just call it 4 to 9 threes a game. So you have to find another 5 to 6 threes a game, losing Klay. Brandin, he shot, how many did Brandin shoot? 1 to 3. You give those to Brandin, you're making up for Klay's production. They shot the 3 at the same percentage, so if he can do the same again, then you're not losing much production off of Brandin. Of course, Klay, probably at this point of his career, maybe not a better defender. He was at one point, but Brandin is shorter than Klay, so Klay was a little bit more versatile. But Brandin has that hustle and that young person drive. So the Warriors are banking on Brandin being able to get more shots up, and they will say you have free reign anywhere around the court, pick and pop, off the dribble, and they may have Bruno Caboclo come in as a training camp signing. We'll keep you updated. And by doing, if you want updates, subscribe to Warriors Digest. We'll keep you in the know. Until next episode, y'all. Randy Silver out.